Good morning, you guys. Alright, we are westbound on Interstate 90 right now in Washington State. About 25 or so miles east of Seattle. In between Snoqualmie Pass and Seattle, to be a little more exact. We're going to be making a delivery to the Martin Brower, or McDonald's, Golden State, whatever, Golden State Foods or Martin Brower, whichever you want to call it, which is a McDonald's affiliate in Sumner, Washington. I think I'm a little bit early on starting this footage, but I wanted to give you guys a view of Highway 18. I want to make sure I don't start recording too late for what I'll probably be talking about. Now we're going to be getting off here on the Highway 18 westbound. There is a way station off this exit, but I think it's on the on-ramp to get back on the Utah 90. I actually need to use this exit to get to my customers, so we won't be using the way station. Because I can't get to my customer if I go that way. Alright, Saturday morning, so, which is May 13th. So, it should be easier time coming through here than typically on around this time of day. Weekdays, this highway here gets really busy. It's pretty scenic though, I'll give you that. That's kind of why I wanted to start recording a little bit early too. I don't know how much time it's going to take for me to talk about what I'm going to talk about here, but so I figured I'll start early, and then if I find out I start too early, then I can always just high speed the excess here. Alright, so we're now southbound or westbound, whatever you want to call it, on Highway 18. Now we're going to be going through Maple Valley, Covington, and Auburn, into Auburn, before heading south on State Route 167. 167 will get us down there to Sumner, which is where our customer's at. Alright, so what are we hauling? I'm hauling a load of pork sausages for McDonald's, of course. So I'm guessing they're the like the sausage patties that they serve for breakfast and all that. 6% grade. I am on the heavy side. I'm pretty heavy, 75,000 pounds, so I'll be taking. Are they widening this road? That'll be nice. This road needs it badly, so I am hoping that's what's going on here. I remember last time speaking of this, I looked up when the last time was I was here in Washington State, and it hasn't been since February of last year, so it's been about 15 months since I was last in this state. Now, I've been with JCT for over 5 years now, and it was, I remember coming here to Washington several times my first year, but ever since then, par for the course for me personally is usually maybe once a year. If I'm lucky, twice. If I even call it lucky, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd really, the scenery is nice, I'll tell you that, but the stupid split speed limit for trucks is not so nice. Lack of parking isn't so nice either, so there are pros and cons here, I guess I'll say. Kind of interesting seeing these piles here smoldering like that. Interesting. It's 49 degrees, so it kind of makes me wonder why is it smoldering? I don't know. It's not like they burned it or anything, so I don't know. Maybe someone else can answer that question. What exactly am I seeing with that smoldering? I'm not an expert on that. Alright, so on that note, I picked up this load at Lopez Foods in Oklahoma City. You guys may or may not have seen that video, that vlog already. So that's where we're coming from. I ended up taking the state route, the U.S. routes up from just east of Hinton, Oklahoma, off of I-40. Took them up eventually into Woodward, Oklahoma, Dodge City, Kansas, and then eventually got on I-70 in Waukene, Kansas. Then took I-70 across to the west from there, over to the Denver area, and then up north, I-25 to Fort Collins. Then went up US 287 from there to Laramie, and then I-80 across from Laramie to Echo Junction, Utah, and then I-84 over to just on this side of Pendleton, Oregon, and I-82 up to I-90. So from that's kind of how the routing I took. Let's see. Actually, you know what? One of my friends who watches my channel, my last video, he'd questioned why I took the I-40 route when I had that JBS load from Tolleson going to College Park, Georgia. And he questioned why I went up to I-40 instead of taking I-10 across to I-20, which is flatter. Now, it is actually a little bit more miles to go that way, and normally, damn it, I hate this fucking adaptive cruise. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my adaptive cruise has a really bad habit of telling me I'm 0 feet away from nothing at all, as you just saw right there. There's literally nothing in front of me. And all of a sudden, I can feel it let off my throttle, and as soon as it's done letting off my throttle, it starts smashing the brake pedal if I don't get to it fast enough. Constantly fighting it. I don't know what exactly causes it. It was, I had it happen in the first month I had this truck, and then it went away for a while. I thought it might have just been interference from radio transmissions or something, or maybe even rain effect on the radar or something, but I think it's something else, just like little minor glitches in connection or something, or sometimes they sit there for an amount of time, and sometimes it's just some brief thing that goes away. Drives me nuts though. I can't trust having my foot off the throttle at all because of it. Alright, so going back to it was suggested that why didn't I take I-10 and I-20? Well, okay, again, I've been with JCT for 5 years plus. I know where the bread and butter lanes are. I know where most of the truck traffic is. And and he was suggesting, well, just run your route and make your money, whatever, and don't worry about that. I'm like, no, that's how you don't make money as much. Because as it was, look what happened. I ended up going up to I-40 knowing damn well that there was a better chance of a swap or a drop there. Now, either way, I had an opportunity to drop before, because I was running over a day ahead of schedule for that load. So I could have ended up with a 34-hour reset when I just came off home time and wasn't going to need one. I wanted more miles, so why would I do that? But now I had different options there. Even for drops, we have our Fort Worth drop yard. I had an opportunity to go through there, but I also had an opportunity to go through that yard if I'd taken I-40 across. Meanwhile, we have a decent amount of I-10 truck traffic in on our freight lane, but I-20, not so much. There are trucks that go through there, but it's not a heavy amount. By any stretch. You'll see them if you're ever on that stretch. You'll definitely see other JCT trucks over there, but you're not going to see a lot of them. Most of our trucks are going to be on going across I-40 or I-10 at any given time. So if I'm only going to be a portion of I-10, that's not so conducive to getting swaps. And I want both swap and drop opportunities as much as I can, because if there's a chance I can drop it in a drop yard or swap it along the way and keep rolling and get more miles out of my time, I'd rather do that. Taking the I-40 route, I had, I could take 287 down from Amadeo down to Fort Worth, hit the drop yard there, or I could stay on I-40, go through Oklahoma City, and guess what? We got a drop yard in Oklahoma City. And then I could have taken 40 all the way out to West Memphis and take I-22 down, basically, down to Birmingham. And we also have a drop yard in Atlanta. We haven't had one that long there, but yeah, we do have one there now. So that was an option as well. But meanwhile, yeah, I-40 is a bread and butter lane. I had an opportunity I ended up swapping off that load, as it turned out, in Oklahoma City to help get another driver home. So, yeah, I understand how someone else will do would rather run their route their way, whatever, for their own reasons, but I have my own reasons, and, more dock time also slows me down. I want to burn up my 70-hour clock. I don't want to sit here, God damn it, you piece of shit truck, quit telling me I'm 0 freaking seconds behind nothing. There we go again, 0 seconds away from what? Asphalt? I don't know. It's pissing me off though. I fucking hate it. I'm 0 seconds behind right now again. I had to turn off my cruise control because it keeps doing it. Freaking drive me insane. Alright, so yeah, everyone has their right to run however they want to run, and I don't think he was being anything bad by it, but maybe trying to be helpful, but really no, I don't. I'd rather do it the way I do it. Like I said, I could get more miles and more pay by knowing JCT's freight lane and run it the way that I know will get me better opportunities for swaps and drops. So that would be why. Gotta watch my RPM, because sometimes my truck doesn't want to upshift when I'm going down hills, and I was getting pretty close to my rev limit. Alright, anyway. So there's that. Yeah, no offense. I didn't take any offense to what he said or whatever. It's an honest, learning process. Maybe he learned something from me. Maybe I learned something from him. Is what the idea was. But in the end, no. I'd rather do what I did because, what happened ended up proving itself to be why I went that way. All right. On a different note here, I'm going to talk about something else. I want to talk about fatigue. Now, this isn't going to be your average fatigue safety, bullshit briefing, whatever. Because whenever trucking companies talk about fatigue, they always say the only solution is get off the road and get some rest. I beg to differ on that, guys. There are a lot of times where that is the best solution. However, what they don't talk about and may not know, I don't know, but may not realize, there are other sources of fatigue. And sometimes the way to effectively control fatigue is to control the source of the fatigue. Alright, yeah, so you guys know, who's been watching my channel for a long time, you know that I've talked, and I think about live streams, about noise fatigue, okay? So that's one of the things I'm going to talk about here. You also have digestion, and then you also have another thing that I call spatial hypoxia. I don't know if that's the proper term for it, but spatial hypoxia is an actual condition. I don't know if I'm applying the terminology properly for what I'm going to talk about, but that's another possible source. So these are all examples I'm going to give here, right? It's not always the case of go get off the road and get some rest, because one of these other things could be the reason why you're fatigued. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting rid of that source, and maybe your fatigue will go away. You'll end up getting your second wind, power through it, or whatever. Alright, so we're going to start with noise fatigue. Many people have never heard of this. Now, how do I know about this? Because when I was an aircraft mechanic, the first week in tech school, and when I was going through training to learn how to be an aircraft mechanic, they talk about some of the all your fundamental aircraft safety stuff, like your danger zones, how far away you have to stay away from intake and exhaust on jet engines, spinning propeller blades, or APU, or turbine planar rotation, and even radar, or HF and HF radio systems and stuff like that. Not catching up. Anyway, though, that first week they talk about noise fatigue, and when they do that, they also talk about some of the symptoms of noise fatigue, which includes exactly what I'm talking about: fatigue. You get irritable, you get feeling of emptiness, loss of appetite, if I recall, and just tiredness, wanting to go to sleep. That noise fatigue comes from being exposed to too much loud noise for too long. So it goes again, trying to briefly do stuff to me. So listening to loud music, I do it myself too. I get it. It's fine to an extent. Maybe the hormones that come out from the whatever, like maybe some music energizes you or something. Some kind of upbeat tune or whatever gets you going, or makes you think of a dance floor or something, if that's what your thing is. I don't know. I suck at dancing. I don't dance, but just saying, some of you guys might. So regardless, I got it's maybe that can energize you, but you can only do it for so long before it becomes counterproductive, and the music will actually start, or even I listen to my audio stuff too. I have I queue up a lot of news articles and stuff on my voice reader, and then I'll just hit the play button when it's time to drive, and it'll just keep going right on through. Like I have a list right now of I think 50 or 60 articles in there now. All I have to do is hit play and just start driving, and it'll just read them off one by one until I get, all right, I need a break. Hit the pause button and stop. And I'll try to stop myself before I start getting the symptoms of noise fatigue, which will just kind of seem like, I could go for it now. That's what I end up really feeling like if I don't take care of that fast enough. All right, so just be mindful of that, guys. Stuff that's keeps your mind going. Listening to the audio stuff that I do, or maybe audio books or music, whatever. That can all be helpful to an extent, but counterproductive after so long. Sometimes you just need a break. Even just talking to friends, if the other friend on the other line, the other end of the line, whatever, is just talking, which I actually have had happen, I start getting tired. Like I get bored because there's never any kind of way for me to interact in the conversation, and then it's just drowning me out. Even if it's stuff that might interest me, if it's just constantly the other person talking and never me talking, sorry, I'm going to get kind of bored, if you will, and I need to be able to interact in this discussion, or it just could just be the noise fatigue part, where maybe if I am interested still, but maybe I think I'm bored because the noise fatigue is actually getting to me. Alright, so those are all examples of how noise fatigue can actually affect you when you're driving or doing anything else. Next one. Let's talk about the spatial hypoxia. That's another one that, again, most people have never heard of, don't know anything about. I've never heard a trucking company talk about this. And, sometimes they'll say, people will say, roll down your window and get some fresh air, and that'll help you. And then trucking companies always say, don't that's only going to prolong the inevitable. You're still going to need to stop and get a nap or something. You know, the only way to fix it is to sleep. But again, that's rolling down the window actually is, in my opinion, a good option to at least find out if that is what's going on. Now, spatial hypoxia, for lack of a better explanation, I would simply just put it as you inhale oxygen, you exhale carbon dioxide. All right. Think of yourself in a crowded classroom or assembly room or whatever. You got a whole bunch of people in there. What happens? It never seems to fill. People get tired, sleepy, whatever, and you get stuffy and warm or whatever, and all you want to do is sleep. Okay, well, is it really because the content is boring? Or are you claustrophobic? Or something else? It might not be any of that. It could just be spatial hypoxia. You get all those different people. Let's say you have a room full of 50 people all breathing in all this what oxygen molecules are in the air that you need to have your energy level up. Well, I mean, there's only so much of it in the room that can be in there. It's like you need a ventilation system or fresh air coming in from the outside, and even if it is coming from outside, it needs to be able to flow back into the room adequately and push out all the carbon dioxide molecules that all those same 50 people are exhaling. So, you know, and everyone, if you don't have good ventilation, you have a bunch of people exhaling carbon dioxide, and now when you go to inhale, they're inhaling less oxygen and inhaling more carbon dioxide, and your body's picking it up. And you know, you might not realize it, but start getting just a little bit of a tired feeling. Just probably start yawning and all that. How I figured this out myself was actually when I bowled a lot. I used to bowl at least a good 3 times a week. I remember I was in a scratch league in Hemet. The scratch league is when you bowl without a handicap, by the way, if you guys aren't familiar with that term. Alright, that lane is going to end, and there's that truck there. No, not much for traffic. Right, we'll just stay here. So anyway, you have yeah, I would always notice when I was down in the setting area, or whatever you want to call it, the area where the ball return and score table and all that kind of stuff are at. Yeah, on the seats. They call them setties, I believe. I would always get like a desire to yawn and feel like a little bit lethargic. Not really tired and sleepy, but definitely like a little lethargic, like I haven't slept quite enough or something along that line. But then I could walk from there over to the bar and snack bar area, whatever, get me a beer, maybe something to eat from the snack bar or whatever. And yeah, I'll be right there in that spot, and all of a sudden I'd be like wide awake, like I'm not yawning, I'm totally super wide awake, energetic and everything. I'm like, what? Then I go right back over to the SETI area, and I'm right back to feeling lethargic eventually. So it got me, I kind of like, what is going on here? I ended up talking to a friend of mine this was when I was still working at March Air Reserve Base. One of my friends and co-workers there, was telling him about this. He was a Marine Corps sniper before coming to our unit, actually to the Air Force. But I was telling him about this, and he was telling me, oh yeah, that sounds like you had spatial hypoxia. I'm like, huh? It's like, I know what hypoxia is because aircraft maintenance, you know, when you're flying at altitude, well, I never went through the training myself, but I was very familiar with it from everybody else I knew who actually did fly for their career field. You know, whether they operated the aircraft or just flew in the aircraft, you'd have to go through this altitude chamber training. You know, and what it does is they put you in a hypoxic environment. They pressurize you to like 25,000 feet MSL, mean sea level. and they want you to do these certain little exercises on paper and stuff to like identify all these things or whatever, like say the question marks or something on a sheet of paper with a whole bunch of characters or something, and then you know, it's supposed to put you in a hypoxic environment so you can identify your own symptoms of hypoxia. You know, which is kind of like a drunkenness and fatigue as well. So, you know, the sooner you catch on to those things, the sooner you can address issues like, hey, you need to pressurize the aircraft more or go down to a lower altitude or something, if that be the case, or go on supplemental oxygen. So that's how I learned about hypoxia. But spatial hypoxia, I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know what that is. So, but he explained it to me, and like, oh, okay, you know, it makes really good sense. And yeah, and I think he's right, because I've seen it myself, where sometimes just opening the window, getting some fresh air in, or even just getting out of the truck and walking around for a little bit, sometimes is all it takes to make you feel a lot. I've had times where I just go like in a truck stop, and I'll actually kind of double time it, you know, like just walk a little bit faster pace. Well, I walk kind of fast anyway, but you know, walk at a good pace to the truck stop. You know, inside, whatever, go use the restroom, get a drink, whatever, come back out, and then all of a sudden, I'm like way more awake than I was when I got into when I first got into the fuel island or wherever I was at. So, again, sometimes eliminate the source, lack of oxygen in the area that you're breathing. Yeah, you're far enough back. All right. Now in the truck, it's just you, but I do notice when you have the heater on, or when I have the heater on, I notice it a lot more, that I get more fatigued more quickly. So I have to turn off the heat and sometimes even put it on colder than I really want to be in order to keep from getting fatigued or whatever. And so I don't want it to be toasty, because I almost guarantee I'm going to get fatigued and want a nap or something if I do that. But I don't like being in a cold, like freezing, like icebox kind of environment either. So it's kind of just kind of back and forth, whatever. Just try to stay between uncomfortable and comfortable, I guess. If I'm having issues with that fatigue or whatever. So that's the second one. Third one, I can't even remember what the other one was I was going to mention now. And noise, spatial hypoxia. I don't know. Maybe I should be good enough anyway here. We're almost to Highway 167. We're already getting into the Auburn area. I don't want to have this video excessively long either, so that's another reason I'm need to be a little bit concerned about talking too much. So how about I'll take a rain check on, talk about any other, you get the idea anyway. Find out whatever the cause of the fatigue is, because it's not always about lack of sleep. It could just, you know, if it's a combination of lack of sleep and some other environmental factor possibly that you might need to address. So yeah, once I address the environmental factors and then I still am tired or doesn't seem to be getting any better, that's when I decide, alright, it's either time to get off the road and nap, or try to power through it if I'm really, but I really best not to power through it. There are times where you don't want to end up seeing the black dog, or having some imaginary black car or dark colored car cutting you off. That always, people always end up claiming they saw when they end up going off the road and rolling over because they fell asleep behind the wheel. This guy's gonna cut me off, isn't he? Yep, I knew it. Maybe not. Oh, what'd you do? Change your mind after seeing the cop, or were you just slowing down for the cop? I don't know. Alright, we're gonna get on 167 South. We're really not far away. So yeah, I'll probably just accelerate real quick to when we're about ready to get off the freeway and kind of tell you a little bit about the customer from there. Alright guys, we're going to be getting off the freeway right here at 24th Street East, West Valley and 24th. Man, there are a lot of cops out right here in the area. Just saying, well, definitely watch your P's and Q's when it comes to driving in this area. The boogeyman's going to get you. Alright, so this customer, it's a smaller facility. It's not too difficult to back in. I have been there two or three times at least in the past. I don't remember for sure. But they don't have any room for you to really stage there. So what you're gonna need to do to get checked in, ideally, is just come over here to the truck stop, which is off this exit right here. You need to use this same truck stop, not this truck stop, but you need to use this same exit to get to the customer anyway. So either park in the center turn lane down the road further by where the customer is at, or do like I do and just come over here to the truck stop and park there. And yeah, no, this truck stop does charge for parking, but if you're only going to be there in a short time, yeah, who really cares? Even just go to a fuel island or something if that's what it takes. Yeah, we'll just come over here. We're going to make a left turn at not this light, but the next one. And then right there on the left side, once we get on that street, will be the truck stop. Now, see, we do have the center turn lane right here as well. I could always stop in too, but as much as I can, I'll hang out over here at the truck stop first, and then just move over to there if you absolutely have to. But now I am a little bit early. I have a 7 a.m. appointment time. It is 6:23. Again, it's not a very busy, not a very big facility, so I don't really recommend calling them until you're within about maybe 30 minutes of your appointment time. So I'm just gonna do not block pump to use restroom. Oh boy. Now these guys are anal about stuff, but I don't know how long I'm going to be here, so. Actually, you know, I could always, I'll go ahead and park over here by this drop trailer. As I do, and actually, speaking of, do need to use a restroom anyway. So I could always park over here. Then when I get back, well, I'll make the phone call and get checked in, and whenever, damn, there's hardly anybody here. I thought, I didn't, you know, speaking of, I gotta tell you something about that. How about we go to this one right here? Better yet, over here, because I can get my tenants where I want them better. my drive tires will be the big clue where I'm at in relation to where I want to be. Not the best parking job in the world, but it doesn't need to be. Not like I'm going to be here very long anyway. Alright, so I'll give us a few and we'll go. We'll make the phone call and hopefully be able to head over there right away. Good morning, this is Scott with JCT calling to check in for my delivery.
What's your PO number?
I think it's 307075.
I'm looking for a 65 number.
Okay, I got that one. 6561067.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm putting you in door 4. Is this your first time here?
I've been there before. Yeah, I'm over at the truck stop down the street right now. I'll be right there.
All right. All right, I'll open the gate when I see you. Door 4.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yep, all right.
Alright guys, that's how it is there. It's pretty simple. Call them up. Give them your 65 whatever PO number. It's a 7-digit number. And so she's got a door assignment for me right now. Just got to go over there and get the deed done. So we're gonna go down the street, and when we're gonna turn the corner, and the lot will be right there. And then door 4, I believe, is on the street side. It's been a while since I've been here, but yeah, I seem to recall that might have been the same door I was in last time I was here, and I want to say it's on the street side of the building. They have more dock doors on the north side. The street side is the south side, and then they also have dock doors on the north side. I've actually docked in on both sides before, but yeah, last time I was here, I docked in on the south end. Alright, so we're going to make the left turn out of here. Now, one detail I forget is if they want me to open my doors right away and dock in, or if they want me to keep the doors closed and sealed and then wait for the unloader to come out. But I want to, I seem to recall you just dock right in as soon as you get in there. Alright, speaking of that truck wash there, that truck stop, I don't know if you noticed the signs here. They do have a truck wash there you get your trailer washed out at after you're done delivering, if you so desire. You just park in one of the spots and then check in, and then they'll actually come out and get you when it's your turn to go into the wash bay. So it is kind of a nice thing about that place. However, JCT, we have a contract with the place that's right next door to the Levs in Ellensburg, over there off of I-90, over by where I-90 and I-82 meet up. That's where I actually started my shift from. Had I known that there was going to be that many spots open here, I might have actually just come straight on in, because I had an opportunity to do that, but I just didn't want to pay for parking, and it being Friday evening, or Friday afternoon, whatever. I was going to be here like in the afternoon Friday. I was a little bit concerned that the lot would start filling up. And not to mention, why pay for parking if I don't need to? So, decided I just decided to stay in Ellensburg instead. But in hindsight, because usually when you're in a metro area like this, truck stops fill up fast, especially on the weekends, because you know, the local area drivers will they'll take their, let me make sure. Yeah, I believe if I remember right, we dead end up here further down, and when you make the right turn, the customer's right there. Alright, but anyway, yeah, those guys, you see, there's signs all over. They nitpick about parking. You gotta have your receipt thing in your windshield at all times, or they'll tow you, or whatever. Like, dude, what if I'm just here to get my trailer washed out or something, or maybe I just want to come in and grab a bite to eat or something, or, you know, like, actually shop inside your damn store. You're telling me I have to pay for parking just to even come in your store? I don't know. That's how anal I get the impression that they are about it, but yeah, that many open spots though. Yeah, I would have definitely gone for parking here, because I could have probably done this in conjunction with the 34-hour reset. But now here we go again, 0 seconds away from nothing at all. There's the Costco distribution center right here. Yeah, here. Now I'm seeing. We're gonna have like an S curve here. Got this left curve here, and then a right curve after that. And then shortly after the right curve will be the road will dead end, and then right there on the right side will be the customer. Wow, distance warning. I'm 0 feet away again, or 0 seconds away from I don't know what. Maybe there's a bug in front of my radar that's not flying fast enough or something. I don't know. Alright, so right here is Martin Brower, this facility right here. Let's see if I can see the dock door numbers over here. I cannot. There's too many drop trailers and straight trucks and stuff. But I'm pretty certain door 4 is over on this side. There's a truck already in a dock door over here too. Come on. What's this Penske guy doing? Oh, he's trying to come in too. Okay. Well, it'll work till we both come. Alright, yeah, door 4 is right next to this, right next to the guy who's already docked in.
You have 5 hours and 49 minutes of remaining time.
Alright, we have to figure out where this Penske truck guy is going first. Oh, he's going around. Okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and set up first, and then I'll get my doors open. Hello, just want to double check because I just got in the gate. You want me to go ahead and open my doors and dock in right away, correct?
No, I don't want you to open the door. Someone will come out to break your seal. So just hang tight to door 4.
Okay, I had a feeling that might have been. It's been a bit since I've been here. I'm glad I called you.
Yeah, I know. I agree, because that's a whole other process if you broke your seal. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Alright, so you heard that. Leave your doors closed and sealed. So let's go ahead and back in now. Tandems are a little bit early, and I'm not going to catch it, so we'll go ahead and go forward just a little bit. Oh, maybe a little bit more than that. Now we can chase it back the rest of the way. I don't want the tandems to end up too far in that direction. I just want to take out some of the rotation. There, that looks a lot better. I see somebody over here on the right side already waiting for me. Might be a little bit off there, but not too bad. Alright, let's go ahead and stop. Because I saw... Oh. I don't know if he works here. Maybe he's another driver, for all I know. I gotta get my my lock removed anyway, so we'll continue this when we're knocking out. All right, guys, we are done unloading. It's just right out around 9 o'clock now, so a little over 2 hours. There's just the one guy working, and that's it for unloading. He's one truck at a time, so now he's getting the guy who's next to me on the left, and I assume that he'll be doing prime afterward. We'll probably have to come up here to the call box and let the lady inside know we're ready to exit. Alright guys, let's head out. I'm gonna go the same way out that I came in. You can also go that way, but I prefer to go this way. Oh, dude, you weren't even out on the intersection by the time I came out. I couldn't even see them because they were... all these trailers right here, I had no way to know that someone was even there. They might have even already been past the limit line and starting their turn by the time I came out, but the way it's set up there, it's just impossible to see. And again, you never know. Some of these people might not bother to stop or whatever. A little too quick. Alright, so all in all, pretty good. The guy there was friendly. The lady inside was friendly. Yeah, no real complaints there. Maybe just on the short staff side is the only issue, if you even want to really call it that. Barely enough to get any kind of detention pay out of, I would say. Alright, otherwise, what's going on now? All the times I've been here, I don't think I've ever had an occasion where I did not deadhead from here out to central Washington. Usually Apple loads out of central Washington. I've been up as far north as Brewster, which is not too far from the Canada line. Or, what is it? Chehalis or what? I don't know, I forget the name of that town. It's in between Brewster and shit, now I'm brain farting on the name of this city. Not Wenatchee, is it? I want to say Wenatchee, but for some reason I'm thinking there's some other city up there off of where US 97, and I think it's Highway 2 or whatever it is, going that direction. You guys might know it's on 97, the same route going up to Brewster, but right where 2 and 97 split or whatever the hell it is, I can't even remember. Wenatchee? I don't know. Am I thinking of the right town? I don't know. Or also go down 82 into Selah or however the hell that town is pronounced, or Yakima, or also gone down into like Richland or elsewhere in the Tri-Cities area, as they call it. Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland, that's Tri-Cities. As it turns out, I did get a pre-plan while I was sitting in the dock door here. It does not pick up until Monday evening. But it'll be picking up at what used to be known as Preferred Freezer. It's now, what, Americold or whatever it is. I forget. I want to say it's Americold. over in Richland. So that'll be the direction I'll be heading. It's a good 200 or so mile deadhead route. Might end up starting back, might end up just running right back over to, I'll get, yeah, I'll see if I get my trailer washed out at the contract facility over there in, brain farting again. Ellensburg. The place right next to left. I don't know if they're open right now. I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, if I can get a contract washout done there, and then probably continue down to let's say the Loves and Prosser or somewhere else over in that area, and I'm gonna be doing a 34-hour reset. I don't really have hours to work with anyway. I started this shift with about 12 and a half on my 70, but I was only going to get an hour and change back tonight anyway. I'm going to burn through at least half of that, roughly, coming out here from Ellensburg to here and then back out to Richland or Prosser or wherever I end up shutting down for the day at. So that'll be the plan. Alright, so I will have another vlog, whatever, when I do pick up Monday evening. It won't be ready for you to watch on Monday, but at least there will be another vlog of that pickup for you guys, though, when it is time for me to go do that, alright? So we'll talk more about that one, where it's going, and all that kind of stuff then, alright? Y'all have a great day. Thanks for hanging out and watching, and we'll see you on the next one.